Hey everybody, how's it going? So just got a real quick one here for you today. Last night I got tipped off by a viewer about a stupid deal going on right now from SSL, Solid State Logic, the makers of the world famous mixing consoles that you see everybody working on. They've got their Native Essentials bundle going on sale right now for $49.99. And the original price on this is $479 for 2 freaking plugins. $479! Like, what the hell is that? These are really cool. I've been messing around with them last night, and I gotta say, when it comes to actually sounding like what you would get on an SSL console, these things really take the cake. So instead of trying to describe it, let me just play you a before and after mix. So here's something I've been working on for another project, and this is with a certain plugin suite, which I really enjoy. Now, here's the same mix with a couple of the SSL plugins thrown in place. This is the bus compressor and the channel strip. Wow, what a difference in terms of punch on the snare drum and the kick. Bass guitar, I got a little bit going on the guitars there as well. Super impressed with that. Now, I sat down with Paul Lonnie last summer. We talked about mixing Megadeth's Peace Cells, and he said about 98% of it was done just with the SSL channel strip on a board. And so this is what you get. You get your high and low filters, you get an EQ, you get a compressor and a gate. It's very simple stuff. But that's the thing. You sit down and you watch Chris Lord-Alge mix or Andy Wallace. They're all mixing on SSL consoles. Warren's got an SSL console. I've certainly sat there and watched him mix enough times over the years. Hell, even I got to mix a little bit on that SSL console last summer. And yeah, it's great. And this thing really does have that feel. It's just really brings out the beef on the snare. Again, just to compare the two, here's the SSL on the kick and snare and the toms. And we go back to the original mix. It's like, what's going on there? And this is the thing. I was very, very happy with that mix until I threw the SSL on, and it's like, what is going on here? It's definitely got that SSL type of sound. And this is the thing. It's not just this mix either. Here's something else I did a little while back. This was the mix we did with the Clark Technic EQ that, I gave a little bit of a quote unquote facelift to. I was really happy with this mix until we started running the Clark Technic through it. And I really like the drum sound I got on this. It's a little bit different, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Check it out. Here's the original. It's just got this big overwhelming on the snare, and I really dig that. But check this out. Check out the SSL mix. This just blows my mind. Like, that's the kind of snare sound I'm in love with. That's the kind of snare sound I've been dreaming of getting all this time. And I literally dialed this mix in while I was on the phone with Alex Nasla last night. Alex Nasla being from the Gear Gods channel. We sat there for, maybe a half hour, and I was just talking with him on the phone about it and just dialing it in, tweaking it out, and I sent it over to him, and he was like, holy shit, dude, that's absolutely amazing. So if I show you guys what's going on here, say with the kick drum, all I've got is I'm using the channel strip as a gate on the close mics, and then I've got them bussed together down here as a global processing for compression and EQ. But we just play this back. A little bit of bleed there. So we're just getting rid of a bit of that cymbal wash, and we do a little bit of processing here. We're just adding a little bit of zing to it, and it's pretty good. Actually, I can turn that gate off there. There we go. And yeah, it's just thrashing now. Same thing with the snare, you know, got a little bit of a gate going on. Got a bit of the 80s reverb going on. Turn that off. Here's unprocessed. Got a bit of parallel compression going on. If I were to solo that up, like here's the snare with no processing, just the top and bottom mic. Add in the SSL and it's just smack city. Throwing a bit of that 80s reverb and a little parallel compression. We got a freaking cannon. To go back, here's the original mix once again. That's really cool. I mean, I've messed around with a lot of SSL channel strips from Waves and Brainworks and a whole bunch of other channel strips, but these things really take the cake. I guess they're done by the Oxford plugins guys, and I don't know how long they spent working on or how long they've been available for, but honestly, they really do feel like the real thing. I wish I had an SSL console here to shoot it out against, but unfortunately I don't, but I do have a couple other bus compressors to shoot out. Now, we do mix reviews every Sunday on my Discord, and that's what came up yesterday was we were checking out one viewer's mix, and I'm like, okay, what we're using for bus compression? He's like, what's that? Okay, and I'm like, well, here's what you want to do. You want to get yourself an SSL type bus compressor, and general rule of thumb, set your attack to 30 milliseconds, auto release, and 4-to-1 ratio, no wake up game, and just play with your threshold till you're about the -4 mark here. Turn it off, it's going to be louder, but we want to keep the bass under control. That's your mix glue. That's what you want to use. And I mean, like, I've used a lot of these over the years. I mean, like, I've got, here's the SSL one. Here's the Waves SSL, which I've used for ages. And I've also got the Brainworks one, which is the Townhouse bus compressor. Same kind of idea. Really like it. The Townhouse has wound up on a lot of mixes in the last year or so. What I'm going to do is just try and compare all three here and show you what's going on. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. So first and foremost, we're going to go with the Waves, I think. We're going to switch that in place. And here we go. Next up, we're going to switch over to the Townsend bus compressor. Let's take a look at that. And lastly, let's go to the SSL native bus compressor and try that. It's a pretty subtle shift from compressor to compressor, but I just think there's a little something going on with the tails, with the reverb, and the initial transient attack on the drums themselves. They just seem to work a little bit better with the SSL compressor. I don't know, maybe it's just new toy syndrome. I mean, I just bought this last night, but I'm really digging it. Again, we go from the Townhouse to the SSL. It seems to me the snare has just a little more thwack to it and just a little bit more of what I'm looking for. And it definitely has a lot of grab. Again, we go over to the Waves one. It just seems to be a slightly different kind of sound. Not saying it's bad. The SSL just seems to be a little bit thicker sounding, if that's the right word. Now, if I was doing a client's record, I'd probably go with the SSL on that. And again, I gotta say, just dialing in with the channel strip is very, very easy. There's not a lot of control, so there's not a lot of ways to screw things up. And the fact that you do get a whole bunch of presets to go along with it, including producer presets. Yeah, it's a good jumping off point, but honestly, there's not a lot of controls to screw up. And the great thing is, because there's no graph, you really have to mix with your ears. You just got to turn some knobs and see what happens. Now, full disclosure here, nobody is paying me to make this video. I'm not working with SSL. Nobody gave me these plugins. I bought this with my own money. I figured, hey, $50, why the hell not? If it sucks, okay, great. But I got to say, I'm pretty blown away by these things. Who knows what'll happen in a week or two when the novelty wears off. But so far, yeah, these really do strike me as working with what an SSL sounds like. So at $50, this one's kind of a no-brainer. The sale is on till the 19th. I'd highly recommend getting it. So make sure you use that discount code and apply it. Otherwise, you're going to get charged $479 freaking dollars. What the hell's that all about, SSL? Really? $479 for 2 plugins? Like, come on, guys. That's a little insane. $50, definitely a freaking deal. If you don't have a channel strip, I'd totally recommend grabbing it. And if you do have some channel strips, you know what? This might be a little bit different flavor, something you can probably use on your mixes. At $50, this is kind of a no-brainer. I'd highly recommend it. In fact, I bought it with my own money. So there you go. Anyway, grab it before Friday. I don't think this deal comes around very often. And as always, thanks for watching. Take it easy.